Hello there, welcome back to War Thunder, and let's pause the video right here. I'm aboard the USS Brooklyn, the new American light cruiser, and I have to say this is probably the best light cruiser in the game as of right now, with 15 6-inch guns that play very much like German 5.9-inch guns. Very high DPM, very high muzzle velocity, good post penetration damage, and also very great accuracy. But what you can see in this frozen picture is that I'm right at the start able to shoot on the Mediterranean port on enemy destroyers at a distance of under 5.5 kilometers. Now, there is a lot of new stuff within War Thunder: tanks, planes, helicopters, and also ships. So I hope you have here the patience with me to go through at least this first impressions on the USS Brooklyn, but please pay close attention to the gameplay because I don't want to comment too much on it. In my opinion, it is self-explanatory, and yeah, I just try to wreck here the enemy light cruisers, take out their main turrets, and deal a lot of damage to them. You can see that I have here two shell types selected. Those are 2 out of 4 shell types. Let's briefly talk about them. So the stock HE shell is nice, and you can also wreck quite a lot of enemy ships. Again, the DPM is like 150 shells per minute, which is just outstandingly good. And the single salvo also packs quite a punch with German light cruiser dispersion, accuracy, and also nearly that muzzle velocity. So, stock HE, then the first upgraded round is the 6-inch Mark 35 AP. Not the greatest TNT equivalent filler, but again, it's the amount of shells that you throw at the enemy, destroying modules, ammo racking them, punching through armor. You don't have the greatest penetration power, but it is still good enough. And at 10 kilometers you punch even through 121 millimeters of armor, which is still impressive. Then, as a tier 2 upgraded shell, we have an HE with base fuse, and everybody that played German light cruisers, which were the kings of the sea in previous patches, know what kind of damage they deal to internal stuff, to crew members, and also to modules, as well as to ammo racks and turrets alike. As a tier 4 upgraded shell, we have the 4th shell type, which is the 6-inch Mark 34 HC, aka the proximity fuse flak shell. And the same shell we can research for the 5-inch secondaries as a tier 3 shell. So you are very good versus aircraft, versus destroyers, patrol boats, cruisers. You are the perfect ship in War Thunder. You have the highest DPM, you have great firing angles, and also the ship also looks very good. I absolutely love it. America might not have the best lineup at this battle rating. Here the Germans, in my opinion, still have the best lineup, but ship for ship, this is just simply second to none. I think the Kirov is another ship that I will check out, and there is so much to check out in this patch. But there is a little bit of a bitter taste to all this. The major problems have not been addressed, and other problems also have been cited, such as when you then play the new game mode, that then suddenly you can target enemy ships up to 12 kilometers away, you aim at them, you stop, and you constantly short shot. So you shoot short. I don't know if this is a lock-on bug, if this is a problem with the aiming system, if this is exclusive to this ship or not, but it's really annoying, and it's, spoiled a little bit the fun and cost me also a few matches. Here you can see what you can do to a light cruiser and to a destroyer. Even with the base fuse HE, you punch through certain armor platings, you set stuff on fire, you destroy modules, take out turrets. It is absolutely devastating. Long range, short range, fast turret rotation speed, good anti-aircraft, good anti-patrol boat armament, the 5-inch shells. This ship just leaves no wishes open. It fulfills every desire that there is. Yeah, let's talk about the other nations' ships briefly. So the Kirov seems to be very fragile. When I played it, I immediately exploded. I have not played the KMS Nürnberg so far, but I expect similar performance to the KMS Köln. So it's a good ship. What I tested was the Type 1936A mob, the 4.7 destroyer for the Germans, and what a machine it is. It is an absolute beast amongst destroyers, but it cannot hold a candle to proper light cruisers, obviously. It's also missing the armor piercing that the other light cruisers with the same gun, aka the Emden, has. Talking about armor piercing, it was removed from every single German destroyer, so they have no armor piercing anymore for the 128mm guns and also the smaller guns. Like on the Type 1939 T-22, it has been removed. I think this is down to historical accuracy, but it hurts the ships from a gameplay perspective. Let's see if the base fuse HE for the T-22 can make up for it. So then we come to the Soviets. As I said, the Kirov seems to be rather fragile. I still have to check out the Leningrad to make a video about this, if it is worth. It seems to have odd issues with the turrets, and to bring all 5 guns on target, you have to give perfect broadside with narrow firing arcs, but then the guns hit hard. I have to also check out the Ognevoy, and for Britain, well, I expected that Gaijin comes around to fix the issues with the HMNZS Leander, but the guns are still broken. Half of them still fire far to the right, which is super annoying and kind of a little bit ridiculous. So I'm sorry if you expected any sort of tank video or any sort of chat gameplay, but this is the first day of the patch. The real tryhards come out and make life miserable for everybody, including me, and I could not stand the thought of going up against ultra tryhards and people that, well, if you are facing the very best all the time on the enemy team, it's not fun, and it is also not representative for a judgment of any sort of plane, tank or ship. But with ships I have a little bit more insight into their mechanics compared to the new tanks, and also the shift of meta is, yeah, there might be a one. I don't know how the Tunguska works. Many new game modes, many new maps, many more things to check out and to try out, and I have enough time now to check this out, so I hope you are okay with this. Meanwhile, I hope you enjoyed this great box over the island shooting into USS Brooklyn. And yeah, this is sadly the situation we have in Ship RB. It is just simply dominated by light cruisers. As a destroyer, you constantly get up-tiered. You can imagine that this is just not fun. This is not really something that you want to have more of. So either you are in the top dog or you are irrelevant. So Gaijin, again in good old tradition and typical Gaijin fashion, has brought more compression and more power creep to the game instead of decompressing what the gameplay is in dire need of. Just to give you a little bit of an example, the British 3.7 destroyer, the HMS Churchill, is a terrible ship. In a full up tier, which the ship will face once in a while, you can meet the German Narvik destroyer, the Z-32, with the light cruiser guns. And this really great destroyer just gets absolutely wrecked here by the USS Brooklyn, which is also a full battle rating higher. So from 2 battle ratings, we have gone up from the HMS Churchill up to the USS Brooklyn. So you can see what kind of massive performance difference we have throughout the tech trees, throughout the nations. And I think this is just sitting here somewhere behind an island, shelling enemies to death. And sadly, this is the most rewarding, least risky gameplay that I can offer you. And that is before we talk about the repair costs, before we talk about the time that it requires to go through Q Thunder, and also the shell costs, so the ammunition costs and the overall profit in the battle. I'm not going to judge this. The USS Brooklyn by itself is absolutely great. The sad part is I could have probably gotten better gameplay, but my internet also went wild. Typical patch day luck for me. So I hope you endure here a little bit this situation here. One funny situation coming up, of which I am a little proud of, because this was then where I probably take the picture for the thumbnail, and then my smaller guns open up and I'm like, uh-oh, patrol boat, the 5-inch gun secondaries evaporate him. Nice, and there is the torpedo, but it's very slow. Can I make some torpedo beats? Come on. Oh, it's close, close, close. Yeah, we made it. Let's just say that was totally intended and skill only. Yeah. I know a lot of you would love to have some music, you know, some torpedo beat music, but you know, it's YouTube, sadly. And yeah, that's actually the battle here. So let's move on and let's have a quick look at the results. So I was first in team, and we got 7,400 vehicle research points and also just above 27,000 silver lines. So not really a great income, and that was with the Survivor Award, and we get 2 backups. So the income is really painful, I have to say, combined with the ammunition costs and the repair costs of the ships in general. You don't make a lot of profit even with decent games like this. Yes, I didn't cap anything, but my point still stands. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. And we'll see each other in the skies, on the waves, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.